Everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another disturbing movie breakdown. And in today's video we are going to be looking at probably one of the most requested movies that I've been getting in my DM since I started doing these videos, and that is Damien Leone's 2016 movie Terrifier. That is right, we are going to be looking at all the Terrifier movies in the coming days, starting off with this one. Now this one is what kickstarted this massive franchise, and it is massive, you can't argue with that whether you like it or not. The success of it, the fact that it overtook and beat Joker 2 as the #1 movie with Terrifier 3, like, you can't understate just how big this franchise is. And yes, there was some short movies. All Hallows Eve is one of the main ones. You also have the Three Circles of Hell, but this is what most people know this franchise for. So let's kickstart it on. So the synopsis 3 of Terrifier is as follows: Halloween night is upon us, and a new killer is circling in Art the Clown, and he has his eyes set on a bunch of friends. So yes, this movie is very, very graphic, very, very gory. I would say it's the weaker of the 3 movies that we got, but it is one that I feel like is the scariest because it feels like you're watching a movie you shouldn't. It's got a gritty, dirty feel to it. You can tell because of the budget is so much lower compared to what the installments after it was given. And it really does feel like a dirty movie that you found in, on the dark web. So, yeah, I'm not ashamed to say I enjoy these movies. I enjoy this franchise. I think it's fun. I think it's entertaining. I think it's got some fantastic, fantastic makeup and practical effects. So, yeah, let's get into the breakdown for Terrifier. So, the movie Terrifier starts with an interview. And it's got a woman who is horrifically disfigured. Her face is horrifically disfigured, and she's talking to this interviewer about how she survived this massacre. And it's a well-known massacre that they're talking about. And she's talking about how she wishes she was dead because of just the pain it's put her in, And then it kind of stops. It kind of cuts in because you're looking at it through like a TV screen, and we get to see a bit more about this interviewer, who has obviously finished the interview and is now in her makeup chair, and she's being a right old bitch to this disfigured lady behind her back. She's talking about how disgusting she is, how ill she felt looking at her, and yeah, she's just being an asshole and being a bitch. Then we get our first kill. It's probably not even 4 minutes into the movie, and we get our first kill where this disfigured lady comes in and murders this interviewer, and it's graphic. There's blood, a lot of blood, and again it really does throw you into the general feel of the movie and then going forward in the franchise. So if you can't handle this kill, you're gonna need to back out now from this movie, and I think it does a good job of getting it done very quickly, so you can tell if you want to spend your next hour and a half watching this type of movie. I think it's very good at doing that. That's our code open. We are now thrown into our main characters, our main character in Tara and her friend Dawn, and it's Halloween night, so they're all dressed up, They're all dressed up, I'm guessing, Dawn looks like she's like a sexy scarecrow from Wizard of Oz. It could be, or it could just be like a generic thing they found, because again, this movie had such a small budget, and I think that's why it feels so much more darker than the other movies. But they're walking, they go into a pizzeria, they've obviously been out having fun, they gotta sober up. What's better to sober up than carbs and pizza? And there is where we meet Art the Clown, and he is just sat there, and he is disgusting. Like, close-up shots of him with his mouth, and you see his dirty teeth and all of that stuff. And this is where you see in this prolonged sequence where he's just staring and doing really weird and obnoxious actions towards these two, how much this character Art relies on physicality to get his scares across, because he doesn't speak in these movies. He's just a mime. He really is. He's a miming clown. David Howard Thornton does a fantastic job in portraying this clown and getting his physicality down, because he is so uncomfortable to watch. You're watching him, you're waiting for him to snap, and he can just be sat there. He can just be sat there staring, but you feel so uncomfortable, and that is all down to David. So kudos to him. Art the Clown is one of my favourite horror villains we've had in the last 10 years, and that's all down to David. I think he's got it nailed fantastically. So Tara's obviously freaked, because why wouldn't you be freaked out by this fucking clown staring at you and doing weird faces to you? Dawn, on the other hand, is a bit more fun and a bit more lenient towards him, and even sits on his lap and takes a photo. She's a lot more teasing and teasy towards him, but he's only got eyes for one lady, and that is Tara, and it's very, very, very uncomfortable. So yeah, we know instantly, okay, we know who our main final girl is going to be based on the interaction between those two. It's not just them in the pizzeria. We got a worker and a pizza guy, the owner, I guess, and yeah, he's clocked that Art is fucking weird. So he kind of goes over and checks, because Art goes to the toilet, and he kind of goes over and checks, are they okay? Are they okay with him? So, you know, it's nice. It's nice to know that it's not just, you know, it's not like a common thing to have this clown walking around. It's obvious that something is a bit uneasy, which is always good, because sometimes in horror movies you understand that people just kind of turn a blind eye to stuff. This guy is like, nah, he's a fucking weirdo. Art the Clown, he gets kicked out because he has wiped shit all over the walls, and they're pissed, okay? The pizzeria guy is pissed, so he gets kicked out. And while that's happening, Tara and Dawn as well leave. They vacate, they go back to their car. We've had this pretty sizable scene in this pizzeria, and we've established about Art. We've established that he's fucking creepy. We've also established that he's probably not going to be taken too kindly to being thrown out of some place that he wants to be in. And also you get the feel of how funny he kind of is, because as he's being thrown out, he's kind of acting like a child. He's stamping his foot, he's kind of grumbling to himself, and it's that levity mixed in with how fucking horrible he is that makes you feel so uncomfortable even more, because you're kind of chuckling at him, you're kind of laughing at him, you kind of find he's a kind of a funny boy, and it makes you feel kind of, oh, am I really kind of liking this weird fucking clown? And this is what these movies do for you, because oh boy, especially as the movies go on, he gets more and more likable. Let me tell you, he gets more likable. Tara and Dawn have found their car and their tyres. It ain't going to get them out of that town because their tyres are slashed. So we are introduced to another character, and that is Tara's sister, Victoria, because Tara calls her to get her to come over and pick them up, basically. And I think Victoria is a college student or university, because she's in like a room, and then like the roommate comes in. So she's not living alone anyway, wherever she is. So we're starting to pick up some more characters. We're getting some more insight with the relationships between these characters as well. We're here with the first kill from Art the Clown. I told you he was not going to be too happy about being thrown out of that pizzeria, and he was not, because he comes back and he murders the pizza guy and he murders the worker. And oh my god, this there's fingers being cut off, there's for the knife in the head, hands and all that stuff being cut. It's so bloody and so gory that it's like you just get thrown straight into it. And the main guy, who I'm guessing is the owner, his head is like turned into, I want to call it a pumpkin, but I think it's like the jack-o'-lantern with like a little candle and everything. Again, showing the humour with the horrificness of these actions. Something Terrifier does very, very well. Where Tara and Dawn are kind of outside. It's like this massive building. I don't really know what it is. It's not a church. It's just like a derelict building. And they're doing like construction and I think like pest control in there, because there's a pest guy who Tara goes up to while they're waiting because she needs to go to the bathroom. And that's their way in to this new set. And this is where the movie's going to take place, in this new building. She gets there, she goes there, she goes to the toilet, and there she runs into this lady who obviously squats and lives in that derelict house, who carries around this doll, who she acts as her child. So you know there's something not right with her. And Tara very obviously is kind of a bit like, get me the hell out of this place. So we are going to be introduced to these different characters, because one thing about Terrifier is where the budget was so small, these people, they're going to be on screen. These are people we're going to be spending time with. We're not going to just have random extras. This is it. So it's good to kind of get them in and yeah, kind of get you comfortable with them really. Art is back. Art has attacked Dawn while they're waiting, and Tara kind of gets into the car and is attacked and is subdued by Art. So we're back in, and now here we go. This is where the movie really starts to go ahead of steam right now. Tara awakens, she's tied to a chair, and there she sees Dawn, and Dawn is naked, hung up, legs tied, and she's just hanging. And this is the most infamous kill in this movie, and this is what I think a lot of people immediately got bad taste with, because Dawn, poor Dawn, she gets sawn in half, vagina first, to the head, and it's sewn, and it's just horrific, and it's disgusting. There's so much blood. It's shown in close effect. It's a fantastic, I'm guessing, like a practical body, the way they do it. But it's very difficult and very uncomfortable to watch. And this was kind of like what led to a lot of people coming in and saying that this movie hates women, and this franchise hates women because of the way they do it. I'll talk about that when we get to Terrifier 3, because I have thoughts about that. But this movie, this kill is definitely one that, oh boy, they warn you. They kill that lady right at the start. Not a nice kill. They then amp it up a bit. The pizzeria people, not a nice kill. And they're like, we warned you, those 3 kills. Here we go. This is what you get. And oh boy, is it uncomfortable and just disgusting. And yeah, Dawn is gone. Dawn is no more. So we are now, Tara is just sat there, just watching her friend being absolutely brutally murdered. That's happened, and he's kind of teasing and agitating Tara, and Tara's managed to kind of worm her way out of her binds and attacks him. So this is where you're starting. Okay, we've got our final girl, so we now know out of these 2 people, Tara's the one left. Tara's going to be our final girl, and she shows that strength that you expect in final girls by attacking him and getting out. And then Art just fakes kind of being injured, I guess, and she goes over to finish the job because he's like cowered on the floor, and then he just whips out a gun and shoots her dead. It's so shocking because you expect Tara to be the final girl, and we're not even probably halfway through the movie and she's dead, and it's so sudden. And again, this is a bit that a lot of people have problems with because they feel like it's almost like a cop-out. I find that it just shows that you can't defeat Art. Art will always find a way to have his way. He loves to play and to torture people, but at the end of the day, he's going to kill who he wants to kill. And if that means something very quick and sudden, that's going to happen. He's going to get his own way at the end of the day. But that moment, all bets are off. Who the hell are we going to follow now? Because you also think that Tara was that woman at the beginning, the one that killed the interviewer. So you're now thinking, who is there? Who is that woman then? We now get to the crazy doll lady. So Art kind of goes up to her, and she's not scared, okay? She kind of goes up to Art as well, and it kind of gives him a cuddle, and it's kind of like the mother, you know? So you think, oh God, what's going to happen to her? And he caves in, he sucks his thumb, he turns into a little baby and kind of like falls into her. So you think, is this like a Norman Bates situation? What's going on? What's going on with Mama's boy? So whilst we've killed the guy, so the crazy doll lady kind of walks in, and her child's missing, and she finds Art with the doll, and she's petrified because that's her child in her head. So she's pleading, and as a plea to get the doll back for her child, she turns into a mother for Art. She kind of gives him motherly comfort, gives him a cuddle, and you think instantly, oh God, he's gonna like rip her face off or something, but he doesn't. He surprisingly melts into her. He sucks his thumb, and he's like rocking, and he falls into her, and you think, okay, what in the Norman Bates is going on here? Remember how we said about Victoria, the sister? Well, she's come to get a sibling, and she is told that they're in the house or whatever the building is. So she goes in, and where she's in, she finds Art, and she finds Art again, a very controversial moment. She finds Art in the skin of the crazy doll lady. So he obviously did not in the end fall into this woman's attempt to mother him, and he's like cut her up, and it's like he's wearing the skin, essentially very Buffalo Bill of Art the Clown. So crazy doll lady, she's no more, and Victoria is thrown straight in and is like, okay, here we go. Victoria is running away because obviously she's fucking panicked and freaked, and she's trying to find her sister, and she runs into the room where obviously Dawn was, where Dawn, I think it's the room where Dawn was fucked around with, but she finds her sister, she finds Tara's body dead, and she's just kind of like stays in a way with like lights and a sign. Very, very dramatic. That is Art's biggest thing, is he loves to be dramatic, that boy does. He really, really does. So Victoria now knows, okay, his sister's gone, it's just her now. And while she's obviously very upset and mourning over the corpse of her sister, Art is coming with a new toy, and it's this cat-o'-nine tail, like a whip, that he's made with scalpels and shit, and he's going to town on Victoria, like ripping into her, slashing her, and it's the noise, the close-ups of it, it's very uncomfortable. It makes you cringe, and it makes you just feel like, oh, you're getting every hit of that. It feels like you're getting it on your skin. It's very viscerally done, and it's a very effective way that they do it. The man that is the bug bomber, he comes and saves the day, saves Victoria by kind of getting Art out of the way, I believe he knocks him out, and the bug bomber and Victoria are on the move. They're going to escape, and they're going to run. So they call 911, and they're running away, but the bug bomber gets stuck in his ways and caught by Art, who stamps on his head, and it's just like, it's like watching a watermelon explode. It's unbelievable. It's just like it's just disgusting and close up, and yeah. doesn't skimp on the gore at all. Victoria's on her own now, and Victoria is unconscious. She gets hit by Art, and the police run in, and as they kind of run in, they find Art like eating her face. I think he's eating her face. He's like hovered over her, and there's horrible noises. So we know the facial injuries correlates with the woman at the start. So now we realise the woman at the start was Victoria. And the police arrive, but before they can do anything, Art shoots himself with his gun, killing himself. So yeah, that is the end of this massacre. The police realise that Victoria is still there. She's still alive. She's just been obviously horrifically attacked. They get her out of there, and they then bring Art into the morgue. And this is where you realise, okay, so this is some supernatural shit. This is not just a run-of-the-mill killer that's a man dressed up as a clown. There's something supernatural here, because as they're in the morgue, the Art the clown resurrects himself and attacks the morgue guy, the coroner. I don't really know what they're called. And so he's alive, okay? He is back, he is alive. And then it kind of cuts to 1 year later, which is Victoria. So Victoria was sent to a hospital, obviously, for the year. Just getting her up, rehabilitating her. She's gone through a horrific ordeal and horrific injuries, and it's revealed that she's going to an interview, which was the start of the movie, showing that the start of the movie was a year after this first movie is taken place. And yeah, that is Terrifier. That's the movie Terrifier. So that as I said, that is the movie. If it sounded a bit jumbled, it's because that's kind of what the tone is. It's kind of what the movie is. It's very much centered around these kills. So you have to get these characters into these positions so these kills can happen. And that means there's a lot of moments where maybe there's a cut here that the character was in one place, they leave them for 5 minutes and they're gone somewhere else. Or there's like a lot of chasing around. So it is kind of like some of the interconnecting story arcs kind of become a little bit of a mess, because it's very much centered around these kills and having to get to these people to these areas they need to. But as a whole, for the fact that it was on such a low budget, it became a cult classic. It blew everyone away. As I said, this was 2016 it came out, but it really took off in like 2019. Like I said, I enjoy it. This movie is the weaker one. I feel like some of the writing is very on the nose, where it can kind of take you out a little bit. But if you just go in, just open-minded, and just go in knowing that, you know, maybe the script isn't that strong, but the tone is very strong, and the gore is very strong, I think you'll enjoy it a lot more than if you went in expecting a perfect, all-over rounded movie. But let me know what you feel for Terrifier. Did you think this movie was any good? Are you one of those ones that doesn't like it, or are you one like me that actually has a fun time with them and Art the Clown in general? Make sure you comment down below what movies you want to see me do in the next one of videos, because as I said, this is day 2 for 31 Days of Horror. I'll see you with another one tomorrow. Follow me on these socials as well. This is the best place to get hold of me for these type of videos. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe and like this video as well. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow. Ciao, ciao. Goodbye for now.